All right, guys, good day and welcome to another live episode of RoadFS Detail Memoirs from the Southern Detailers Conference. I'm Jody.
I'm Rod. We're in day two, and things are still moving. It's really unique because today is got classes as well. There's just as many people in classes. We started counting, and literally you can do like 120 people can be in class at any one time.
That's crazy.
So we were able to pull someone out and allow them to come in and do a quick memoirs with us. So Jen, you've been slammed this weekend with stuff.
Lots of stuff to do, yeah. But I mean, it's just like any other day, I guess.
That's true.
Jen hosted the ladies panel, and sorry, I'm getting a little choked up. I'm trying not to be because you ladies, the six of you ladies, are such an incredible impact on the industry. Your stories are inspirational. I mean, I'm sitting there listening to you guys and I'm writing quotes from each one of you.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the one thing that you said, I'm a badass, but I'm going to be even bigger tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I love that mentality, right? Because I think a lot of times we look at where we're at today and it's good enough.
Yeah.
And
It's never good enough in my opinion.
why?
Because I just know that there's so many other possibilities and ways to grow. I just want to continuously grow. If I'm not growing, I feel like I'm dying.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. If you're not growing, you're dying.
Yeah.
So
Straight to the point.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I love about you guys, I mean, let's be honest, it's a male-dominated industry.
Yes.
It's not a cliche thing, the women of detailing, because I think you guys bring a different attitude, obviously a different face, but a totally different mentality. And most of the people I met, you and Renee and Bernice and all the ladies that are up there, Marcella, it's not about. There's a different mentality. When a guy stands up there and talks about being a badass, they're cocky.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to talk about the difference between cocky and confident.
Mm-hmm.
And professionalism and confidence is what I see. I don't see cocky.
Yeah, no, I just like to be real with people. I mean, not talking about how good of a detailer I am. I mean, I would assume that I'm a good detailer for, if I sat there and I thought about it, I think I calculated I'm at 50,000 hours in detailing.
holy cow.
Out of all the years and the hours I put in. And so, yeah, but there is a, when certain people I see that they talk about how, but I don't go around telling everybody that, I just know the work that I produce and other people know the work that I produce that know me. But it's, I personally, one thing that really kind of irks me, and I didn't really talk about it too much, but, there's people that don't think that I put all the work into what I do. I don't know if they think that I sprinkle glitter on the car and I go and walk away, or, but we do a lot of work and we don't focus on stupid stuff. There's a lot of people out there that I was afraid of getting the microphone in my hand. I mean, now I got the microphone in my hand right now, but there's a lot of people that like to just go online and they spit hate.
Yeah.
And it's what is that?
Yeah.
What is that? How much time do you spend a week doing that? And what could you be doing instead of that?
Right. And what benefit does it bring?
What benefit does it bring you?
It doesn't help anybody in the industry. And I'll tell you one thing that I noticed: when people are spitting hate out there, the people that see that are your potential customers or your customers.
Well, right.
It's not just the other detailers. Your customers see you spewing hate about somebody or talking bad about
or
them.
they got drama in their life, and it's do you go over to let's say your favorite pizza shop, okay? What if all of a sudden that you knew that you're...
Ladies and gentlemen, you're about 10 minutes.
Okay, we're still live.
Okay. Whatever happened if, you saw that your pizza shop owner online just saying some dramatic, stupid, am I allowed to swear?
Hell yeah.
What if they were just saying some stupid shit and you're like, wait a second, that was my favorite, place to go eat pizza, but I just don't even want to affiliate myself with that guy because he just he's not relaying a good message. He's not a good influence. Why do I want to take my kids here?
Yeah. We saw that happen in Idaho where we're at. There's an HVAC guy, and he's fairly large. I mean, I think he had 50 trucks or something on the road. And a potential customer gave him a horrible review.
Yeah.
And he went online publicly and bashed this guy, talked to his employer, did all kinds of stuff. And it literally, it cut his business. It absolutely affected his business. And I'm like, I like the old adage, as stupid as it is.
So unprofessional.
If you wouldn't say it to your grandma, don't say it to her.
You're right.
be professional, be kind,
Yeah.
be an advocate for everybody, you
Yeah.
know, and you know, I like the IGL in general, or you and all of the people that are affiliated are just positive.
Mhm.
They build everybody
Yeah.
up. They're not tearing anybody
No,
down.
we don't have time for it.
No, and it doesn't help the industry, and it doesn't legitimize the industry.
It doesn't. And the industry can grow. It can grow so big and run so much more smoothly if there weren't people, like I was kind of trying to say yesterday, that are like acting like a bad car accident. You're trying to, distract other people from keeping their eyes on the road,
Yeah.
So
Great
you want to be
analogy.
one of those, I guess, what do they call them, onlookers or something like that? But just like focus on where you're trying to get,
I think people
And
do it
then-
out of fear. They don't know what else to do, so they figure they got to cut somebody else down, and it'll build them up.
Well,
But it doesn't. It doesn't help anybody. And
Yeah.
you'd rather work with somebody and build everybody up.
Mhm.
You know.
And another thing is I find that maybe people are just not happy enough in their own life, so they got to go find some outlet to sit there and bitch about. It's like another thing. When I got a flat tire in my car going home, did I pull everybody else off the road and start, rallying with them and bitching about it? Did I call
stupid
Bridgestone
tire.
or
Yeah.
whatever Nokian or whatever and bitch at them? No, I changed my flat and I got back on the road.
Right.
Like
right.
I didn't sit there and like bitch about a whole bunch of stuff, and because like once you see one person bitch, then it's like a whole shitstorm. And I mean I don't really go onto our like IGL page, but there's like, think about it like this: when I see people that go onto our private groups or in any other private groups, one person says one thing, and then it's like I said, a whole shitstorm. Well,
Yeah.
I think about it, it's like, okay, you're a business owner, all right, and you have your own business page. How would you like it if your customers all of a sudden went on there and said like, oh, bird poop didn't levitate on top of my car?
Yeah. Exactly.
So, and then everybody else is like, hey, you know what? It didn't levitate off of my car either.
That's
Or,
right.
oh, I had one crumb underneath my seat. Well, everybody else is going to start talking about, oh, I had my crumb underneath my seat too. Wouldn't you rather that customer went straight to you?
Yes.
Yes.
instead of-
Absolutely.
So that's why I wonder, I'm just like, some of these people that might have like, okay, one of our bottles or something like the pre-coat came open or leaked. Just come to us. That's
Call
why
me.
we're the reps.
Yeah,
We'll tell the mothership and
and
they'll
that's
fix
the
it.
problem with social media today. I mean, on the other hand, there's some beautiful things that happen with it, but I think people, it's just like reviews. There's
Mhm.
more people that'll do negative usually than
Yeah.
positive, and it seems to be that there's high expectations, and there should be,
Yeah.
but nobody talks about it when a product does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Oh, I went and I got your isopropyl alcohol, and I wiped something down, and it worked great. I mean, that doesn't bring about a bunch of conversation. Thank you. So I think there's not enough love, as Bernice was saying. That's
Well,
kind of a nice thing,
right.
and with you, it's always like you're showing the high end cars, and I think people,
People
love that.
Well,
and
people love it, but they also hate me for it. Like it's really sad how many haters that I have in the industry because they just think that, oh, must be rough. That's so nice. But I'm like, does anybody really see? From when I wake up, I have to be at the shop by 8:00. I'm either like biking there or, which is like an hour because it's like my only time that I get to zen out.
Yeah.
And then I get to the shop and then I have, from when I wake up to when I go to bed, I have 775 accounts with IGL, which, from when I wake up to when I go to bed, people are messaging me and I do try and tell them, I'm like, hey, anytime after 7, it's kind of like me recharging. But, I'm not really supposed to be working on cars until after 5. And I detail from 5:00 until whenever that car is done. And in the meantime, I'm prepping that vehicle during the day. I'm on the phone and I'll clean the wheels, I'll clean the glasses, the door jambs, everything that besides buffing. But after
Right,
5:00, I can buff, or if nobody's calling, maybe I'll buff for a little bit. But I'm sitting there for weeks and weeks and weeks and nobody cares. Nobody
No.
gives me any, but they see what I'm doing and then they're like, they
They
hate on
see-
me. Like,
they-
oh, she got to go on a private jet.
Well, they
I heard
see
some
the
hate on
results,
that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They see the results. They see the glamour. They don't see
They don't see all the
They
stuff
don't
that I
see
had to do
everything
and I have
that-
to do.
took you to get there and what you do
Yeah.
every day to continue
And now,
building
yeah,
on
They're
that.
not focusing on the fact. I mean, obviously, those are the people that want to be there,
yeah.
but I think they don't know how to get there, or they don't
But
think
I
they
want to
ever
help
will
people get there.
I know, but
That's
people don't
a
realize
nice-
that.
Yeah.
I think, sometimes people
Yeah.
don't think other people are approachable, and that might be. I think that in general, I have 3 daughters.
Yeah.
All of them are just gorgeous women in general. They're all very smart, but I think that a lot of times in a male-dominated industry, they see an attractive woman and they feel that they're unapproachable. They don't know how to talk to them. There's so many people.
And there
that
are
clam up.
there are some women out there that I have tried to approach in certain things, and I just get left unread.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing about it is I think that people need to look past that.
Yeah.
It's not that you look at somebody and you're like, oh, I don't look at Jody or Joel and look at their looks, right? But I think women get a bad rap in that sense because people can't look past that and just go, this is Jennifer Turcotte. She's a professional detailer and she knows what she's doing.
Oh yeah,
People come up to you, ask you a question about a coating or about your new product or something like that, as opposed to they think they've got to have some cheesy line to get to talk to you.
Well, there's that, and then there's, I don't know. It also sucks because I like to take care of myself. Okay, like I like to work out. I like to wear makeup. I like to curl my hair. I like to get my nails done. But apparently, there's some people that will be like, "There's no way that you're actually good at what you do."
Right. I mean, you could say the
I
same
had
thing
two
about
guys that came up from Nebraska because their shop owner sent them up to me, and they told me the third day in, they're like, "Yeah, we thought you were a load of shit," to my face. But they're like, "I've learned more from you than any teacher or anybody that I've learned." And mad respect for you. And I was like, God, I need to do more trainings like this so you can see what I do in my 9 to 5. So you see all the shit that I do every single day.
What would be cool is to hyperlapse your day. Put a camera a Mevo and put it on hyperlapse and go, hey, a day in the life of Jennifer Turcotte. You think it's great? This is what it looks like.
Yeah.
And just have it on speed down. People go, oh, I'm tired just watching.
Well,
She's like the Energizer Bunny. How can I do that?
And that's why I'm just and I made these guys come and see my day to day. And then they're like, how do you do everything? How do you call all those people? I'm like, I mean, I kind of toned it down a little bit when I had those guys around because I had to help, direct them on where to go. But I'm just if you're starting your business, if I can do all this, you can certainly start your own business, but you need to take it seriously because there's a lot of people that say they're a business owner, but they don't take it seriously.
Right.
They don't wake up in the morning. They don't do the
So-
jobs. And I understand when people are starting out, they work late. I worked till 3-4 in the morning sometimes, and I didn't wake up till noon. That's fine, but you need to start taking yourself seriously and getting it, professional.
Yeah, so one of the things we did this year is we changed the logo of Memoirs. It used to be a skeleton badass guy.
Yeah.
We actually changed it to this kind of split-face person. And the reason why is because too many times we see people that either call themselves a business person or they call themselves a worker. And we wanted to get the idea that you're both.
Yes.
You are a worker, but you're also a business person. And you have to put on each of those hats. You cannot pretend that while you're working, you're not still a business person.
Yes.
And I think too many times what you get is you get an individual detailer that will be like, when they're working, man, they can't answer the phone. They got nobody to take care of business, and business drops off. And then when they don't have business, all of a sudden they're making phone calls and they're selling and they're being a business person. You have to figure out how to balance that. Hire somebody to do the calling. Get a calling service. Do something that gets you to the level you need to be as a business person. And don't let the business run you. You have to control the business.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important part because a lot of people feel like the business is running them, but especially when you're building, it takes work, it takes sacrifice, it takes hours. Right? I mean, you mentioned 50,000 hours.
Yeah.
They say it takes 10,000 hours to master something.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a freaking sensei.
I
Should have 5 stars.
That's what they were
5-star
talking.
there.
That's what my last class was telling me. They're like, "You are the guru sensei," or whatever. I don't know. I was like, "Thanks, guys."
Yeah. So tell us what's in the future for you, because I know you're always moving and growing. I mean,
Future
you've
for
got
me.
you've got your own product.
Yes.
You know.
Yes, I love
And
that
I've
stuff.
seen some good reviews on it. I've seen some actually
Yeah,
really
the
good
detailer
reviews.
gave you a phenomenal
the detailer
review
gave you
on
a
it.
great write-up on that.
Yeah.
Anthony
Yeah, oh,
Brown.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he's like, oh dude, this stuff's the bomb.
It is. It's
So.
amazing. I mean, I always wanted to have something that I could, because I won't stand behind something that's just not gonna work for me. And I know the best thing about it is this product. It's so helpful for not only just detailers, but for the DIYers. Not everybody has a DI water system at home. It's hard
Right.
water or well
Yeah.
water. So when they're cleaning their cars, it's always like those leftover water lines, and this is going to get those stubborn water spots left behind. It's good for grease, grime. It's good on matte and satin wraps, wheels, calipers underneath the engine compartment. Got people using it on boats, motorcycles. You know, all sorts of
And
stuff.
that, so you got places that in the country, like in Idaho, we have really hard water.
Yeah.
Really hard
So
water.
and so that's a constant battle as the hard water spots.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, we had a really torrential downpour, and I'm telling you, if you owned a car wash the day after that, you were in the money because it was around the corner. But the problem is those car washes, and I'm not bashing car washes, but they can't get that off.
Yeah.
So there's leftover hard water spots, and that's one of the biggest questions in our area is how do you get rid of those? And that's when I love that when I saw some reviews on the
Yeah.
on the people like, hey, this is a hard water remover.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you work with IGL.
I work with
obviously.
IGL. Yep.
They put this together.
Yep.
What kind of rigorous testing? And I know the answer to this, so it's a loaded question. What kind of rigorous testing did you go through before you were willing to put your name
So
on it?
I tested it for a year and a half, just using it around the shop. Tried it on everything. Tried it on rubber, plastic. I never really put it on leather. Like I did kind of like lightly wipe it on there, but I would say it's mostly for exterior. But after testing it on pretty much almost everything, and then out in the sun on direct heat, like black car, after a year and a half was when I started releasing the recipe to the other IGL installers, because it was combined of 3 IGL products and mostly water. So after about 40 or 50 screenshots and people seeing my videos and asking me like, you know, what is that? I need the recipe. And it was funny because I saw in one forum, somebody said like, oh, hey, I got some water spots. Like, what should I use? And the guy goes, oh, you should use a, you know, water with car wash soap, waterless wash, and then a quick detailer and shake it up. And I was like, hey man, that's a really cool recipe. And he goes, oh yeah, thank you so much for that. Like, that's yours. And I was like, I'm like, Joel, we got to make something happen before something else, you know,
Before
like,
somebody else grabs the mix.
because everybody knows what it is. And so then, I don't know, I have faith. I don't sit and pray every single day, but there was one day where I was just, you know, it was probably really long 2 weeks. And it's hard for me being the detailer in the shop because it's just me and nobody understands up front. And like everybody thinks that it's just so easy to do, but then you get, you know, 2 black cars in front of you and they're completely destroyed and you got a deadline, and it's just, so anyway, I sat there and I was just in my detail bay and I like looked forward and I'm like, dear God, please just like make it be a good day. Just please make it be a good day. And then literally a half hour, Joel called me and he's like, we're going to make it happen, you know, around SEMA time this year. And
That's
I just
awesome.
started bawling my eyes out.
That's
That's
awesome.
fantastic.
So if you're at the Southern Detailers Conference and you happen to see this,
Yep.
swing by the booth because we got these really nice little octagonal things with the QR code,
Mhm.
and it takes you to a really nice Instagram
Yeah, it's a little video of kind of how you know, one of my favorite parts about it is when you spray it on, you know, certain water spots, it lights up kind of like how hydrogen peroxide would on a dirty wound,
Yeah,
and it kind of like fizzes away. So
that's cool.
Kind of shows that it's working.
Yeah. So let's talk about the new IGL training center that's down here in Kentucky.
Yeah.
How are you going to work into that?
So I will be traveling out here, I'm sure, a whole lot more. More so in the winter time. So I'm not really sure when our next training is going to be. But yeah, I mean, it's only a 12-hour drive for me. I just didn't want to fly because it was a little, it's either leave at 6 in the morning, and I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't want to get to the airport at like 4:30. That's okay.
Yeah.
So I'm good with driving, and then hopefully, I don't know, maybe I can bring my dog next time because she's always a good shop helper. I love her. Everybody loves her.
Yep.
And
So
yeah,
it's a fantastic facility. I'm sure you'll see a
Fantastic,
lot
yeah.
of videos out there from this weekend and in the upcoming weeks. IGL, awesome company to work with. Joel opened it up to all of us. If we wanted to use the training center down here, we could, which is unbelievable. I mean,
Right.
it again raised the whole industry up. And allow us to use it when people aren't there. He approached us individually. Of course, there were tears in his eyes, and
he's the best.
Yeah,
So,
he really.
if you guys have a need for that, and they basically opened up to anybody in the detailing industry. So it's a huge facility, 2-bay shop. There's a training
I
center
want to say it's
behind
like a
it.
3,000 or 3,000
Yeah.
plus square foot shop. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good size shop. I know that there were 2 vehicles in there, plenty of room for
And
400
we
people
had
to
like
walk
Right.
around. I mean,
a
it was
bunch of people.
fantastic. Plus a nice classroom classroom space. AV, of course, it's got the green and black, gray.
Yeah, that
going
floor
on.
is
Yeah.
kicking, man.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
floors are great. I mean,
Yep.
the plastic floors are awesome. They're easy to clean. A lot of people worry about them, but they're
They're pretty easy to clean, yeah.
Yeah, they're easy. Well, man, we really appreciate you taking the time to visit with us. But more importantly, we appreciate what you're doing for the industry.
Oh, I appreciate you guys.
You know,
it
it
really
was-
means a lot for the support, you know.
It was interesting because after the panel, I came over and I was talking to Renee and Marcy Losa, and I was complimenting both of them. And Renee said, "Well, it's because of Jennifer," and then Marcy said, "Well, it's because of you, Renee." And so the ripple effects of you, it's incredible, and I love to see that you know, Bernice, Kelly Jones, Vicky, you, Marcy, Renee. I mean, you're having such an impact, and you were the most popular, hands down, event panel here.
Oh,
And I
absolutely.
think people, it's because of your impact.
We want to make a movement.
Yeah, and there's
We
up
wanna
and
do
coming
it.
star Sarah, who is a
Sarah
great, supporter of our podcast. We were able to meet her. She's been watching our podcast for a long time. She came here to see you guys.
Mhm.
She's in a really, she's just got the most badass determination. She's in a community of only 250
Yep.
people.
Yep.
And she's phenomenal. She's super positive.
Asking all the right
asking the
questions.
right questions and super humble.
Yep.
And so I think it's great to see that next generation coming up.
Right.
We got Aaron Warren in here, which, by the way, if he takes off his glasses, he's a spitting image of his dad. But, you know, so that second generation coming up, third generation stuff. I know Bob over here at Pro's on the fourth generation. So this is a
86
family. It
years
really
for
is
Pro.
a family. So we appreciate what you're doing and what IGL does for all of us. And I'm actually looking forward to getting my hands on some of this because, like I said, we have hard water spots.
Yeah, I'm going to go buy some of
Forever,
that
and
when I
that's
get
always
home.
a problem. Not just on cars, but on things like glass on interior showers and stuff
Oh
like
yeah,
that. I mean,
that's
you know,
what my boyfriend was using it on actually.
yeah, I've done that before. I used to use a rinseless wash that had a lot of emulsifiers because we got a great big shower, and my wife's like, "I'm not scrubbing that out." And I just spray it down, and all of a sudden she goes, "You cleaned the whole shower?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I did."
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I
I took care
did.
of that.
Yeah, I did. I was really scrubbing that glass.
That's right. Smarter, not harder.
Well, thank
Thank
you so
much.
much.
Yeah, absolutely, you guys. Anytime. I always feel like I'm at home when I'm sitting
You
over
are
here with
you are
too.
home.
Oh,
You're
you
part of the
are
family.
home.
So thank you very
You-
much. You didn't get a chance to come to the conference. You can come next year. This is a preview of what you'll see. This kind of caliber of people that are here. So we will see you next time, probably in the next 20 to 30 minutes.
See ya.